The Infernal Internship of Mark Beaks is the 7th episode of DuckTales 2017 series, and this introduces a entirely new character called Mark Beaks, who is a young man who sets up his own company. In that, he's kind of like Mark Zuckerberg with mixed with Steve Jobs in a way, the best way to describe him. And basically, he wants to be a billionaire. He's a rival to Scrooge, and I can't forget his name right now. Glumgold. Finally got it. So basically, the story is that Huey and Dewey, the two that we focus on in this, they both rival against each other to get an internship at Mark Beaks' company. And while that's going on, Scrooge and Glumgold, Glumgold has this sort of slide presentation, trying to get an alliance with him and Scrooge on how they're going to basically get rid of Mark Beaks or whatever, which is sort of like the side thing. With the main thing with Huey and Dewey, we see them. It's pretty simple. Like it's been done a lot of times where you have two friends or family members rivaling against each other for like the same job or position, which has been reused in many series, and in this one it's really not that different. That bit isn't really that interesting. You also see this fun character called, I think he's a great character. I think he's fun to see, which is Falcon Graves. And he's basically, like, his introduction was hilarious. Mark Beaks hears, like, this commotion going on outside his office. It's glass door. He's looking straight ahead, and he sees Falcon Beaks just beating the crap out of all his security guards and just walks right into his office, introduces himself, and says that he wants to steal his newest idea, which is the taa-dah. And Mark Beaks, he kind of acts like Dewey in a way. His overall attitude, he's not very business minded in a way, but he's very annoying to Falcon Graves. In general, I think these two actually work very well, Falcon and Mark, and I do kind of hope we have more with those two, and the end result between those two I actually think is pretty funny by the end of the episode. The story with Huey and Dewey, it's a very typical story really, but again, at the end, it is kind of funny what happens, and it is, like, the whole episode, like, towards the end is funny, and even the bits where it cuts back to Glumgold and Scrooge is still good, but we don't really get much time with them, and Glumgold is kind of shown to see, like, a lot more idiotic compared to Scrooge. Like, in general, Glumgold was, like, a little less intellectual, and of course less rich than Scrooge was, but I don't know, he just came across completely stupid in this episode, which I didn't really like too much, but it wasn't that bad. Like, it was okay. What was nice to see was more of an interaction between the siblings, even if Louis wasn't there. It was good to see some sort of like interaction. Like, they aren't just like in their own little world and they're just sort of perfect, like, kind of in a way, or not perfect, but they just sort of like they just sort of like know how to deal with each other. We do see them kind of opening up with each other as well, and that's always good to see. It's not just like, oh, it's a new person and let's see how we interact with them, because we just sort of take it like from the first episode that like they're just like mischievous and all that, and they seem really close, but maybe they're, I don't know, maybe one feels inferior to the other one in some way. And again, it's not a new idea, but I think it's executed quite well in this episode, and it works because we didn't really see the triplets, maybe one-on-one interaction with each other. Again, there's no Donald in this episode, which, as you all know, is an unfortunate thing, and I won't bring this up again because he is one of my favorite characters. There's very little, there is Scrooge in this episode, but again, we haven't really gotten that much, of a story with Scrooge, which I always found to be an interesting character. I thought he was fun, and of course, the whole thing with the mother, we still haven't gotten back to it, and some people are going oh, just enjoy the stories that we have in front of us. But I feel that the stories of DuckTales, especially this one, feel quite tamed in a way. And I get the fact that this episode in particular is supposed to be to show that it's be a bit more modernized. With the introduction of Mark Beaks, that is good because, it is a lot more modern in a way. It's not just sticking to the very old stuff. And it works as well. Well, what I think could have worked a lot better was the interaction between Mark and Scrooge and Glumgold, because he's supposed to represent the current young, billionaires with the new ideas, and Scrooge and Glumgold are supposed to represent the older generation, the older ways of doing business and that. And I kind of wish there would have been more of some sort of balance instead of just going, yeah, he's new, they're old, but yet they still make money. It doesn't really show how exactly what's the old methods that work and don't work, and what are the new methods that work and don't work. And I think that could have been addressed a little bit. A story about that would have been interesting, and hopefully in the future we'll get something along those lines. My overall thoughts on the episode was it was okay. The second half I think is the best, and any scenes with when it's Mark and Falcon Graves, I really enjoy. He was so infuriated with Mark Beaks, and I just loved it. And I actually kind of hope we get more with those two in the future, though I kind of doubt that we will. I thought Falcon Graves was a good character. I really enjoyed him. Mark Beaks, I felt as if I felt Graves' frustration when you just see Mark Beaks on his own, really, on screen or talking with other people, but when the two are together I think it worked very well. But and at the same time, as I said already, with the siblings, Huey and Dewey, and hopefully we'll get another one like Louie and one of the other two, that sort of connection that they have, focusing on them, I think that would be good. I think that's good that it's addressed. I kind of hope that, I get the fact that in the first episode there was something with Donald and Scrooge already, but I kind of hope there is a little bit more, maybe in an episode in the future, hopefully in the next one, and hopefully there'll be more a Scrooge focused one if they do have Scrooge in it. And yeah, the episode was okay. It is definitely better than other ones that have come before it. Yeah, the ending is what makes it better, and you could say it gets better as it goes on with this episode. And I think I won't spoil what it is, but the reveal of the taa-dah is actually quite good, I thought, and the whole idea that Mark Beaks had was actually kind of interesting. So that's pretty much all I have to say on this episode. Comment down below, tell me what you thought of the episode if you saw it already. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, stay up to date with more videos that I will have in the future. I have reviewed other episodes of this series, so go check out those videos. And, check out more videos that I have, and hit the like button, subscribe, stay up to date. And, also, LootCrate, if you're planning to get a LootCrate, I will leave a link in the description below. If you use that link, you'll get $5 off your LootCrate purchase. And because I recently bought a LootCrate, and I will hopefully be doing an unboxing video. Do not know when that is, but stay subscribed to check out when that will be. And that's pretty much all I have to say, and I want to thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys next time. Thank you.